Commissioner Horton, you're unmuted. Just want to test the audio. Can you try speaking? Just want to make sure that we can hear you.
Alex, that you?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you. I'll mute you back on.
All right, buddy.
Welcome to Oconee County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 30th. We're limiting the occupancy of the room to 50 people. If you're joining us virtually, hopefully you're using a computer or a smart device. To comment or ask a question during the public comment portions of the meeting, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom. From a computer, click on the participants icon at the bottom of the screen, then click raise hand. And then from your mobile device, just click on the raise hand. In just a moment, we'll ask you to stand for a moment of silence. Then after that moment of silence, we'll ask Daniel Haygood to lead us in the pledge. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I believe we got Commissioner Horton joining us over virtual network. Are you there, Chuck? You there?
Yes.
All right. Very good. First item of business will be to approve the agenda.
I'm making a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second. All right, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. The next item is statement and remarks from citizens. This is for anything that's not on the agenda for tonight. Do we have any raised hands?
We have no raised hands.
Very good. Any statements and remarks from commissioners?
No, sir. No, sir.
Commissioner Horton has not raised.
Thank you. Just a couple things. Malcolm Bridge Road improvement options are on our website. If you hadn't taken an opportunity to engage us on what you'd like to see there, we hope you'll do that today. Also, announcement of new hours for landfill and collection sites effective July 20th, 2020. The 4 recycling centers will be open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And also the 441 site in Farmington will be open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. All sites will be closed on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. We'll remind you that use of sanitation sites is limited to citizens of Oconee County, so please be prepared to show your residency when you enter. With that, we'll move to our next item, which is a discussion of update on the human resources policy. Jill?
Good evening, Chairman Daniel, Commissioner Thomas, and Commissioner Saxon. The board set a goal to bring the human resources policy and procedures up to date with current practices. We have reviewed the current policy and we have made a few minor updates and changes along with a major change. While we currently follow a 30-step pay scale that was adopted after our last policy revision, we would like to move to a 20-step pay scale that allows even increases to our revised policy. With this change, we have taken away the COLA increase and allowed for a merit increase dependent upon the financial stability of Oconee County. Other revisions include the entire policy has been updated to reflect the position of county administrator, updated promotions and demotions to follow the step plan. The birthday holiday, which is required to be taken within 30 days of an employee's birthday, changes to a floating holiday that can be used at any time during the calendar year. This change would take effect on January 1st of 2021. We are going to add the pay matrix and classification charts as appendices to the policy. Incorporate an established on-call policy for positions of critical after-hours needs as determined by the county administrator. Examples would be a water line break or a tree down in the road. This will be updated in the final revision. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Jim?
That was a lot of reading.
Very good. So just as a note, the going from the 30 to the 20 will be there. Most all positions will be getting some increase going for that pay change, and that is currently in the budget. So that is funded if the budget's approved tonight to handle that drop down from 10 or from 30 to 20. Any public comment? Nobody? So this will be okay for consent agenda? Everybody good?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is discuss the FY '21 Family Connection Contract. Amanda?
Good evening, Chairman Daniel, Commissioner Saxon, and Commissioner Thomas. I hope Commissioner Horton is healing up well. Thank you for your willingness to continue serving as the fiscal agent for the Georgia Family Connection Grant, helping to manage the distribution and reimbursement of the funds as I serve as the Executive Director of the Oconee County Collaborative for Georgia Family Connection. Thank you also for your support of Oconee Area Resource Council and our programs. I would like to thank Chairman Daniel for checking on us during the beginning of the pandemic when things had gotten very intense for us. Our responsibilities had significantly increased, and the support we received from the community encouraged us and made the tasks at hand more manageable. So please allow me to share a few highlights of the last fiscal year. Our Food for Kids program served 147 students a weekly bag of food through mid-March when Oconee County schools stopped meeting in person. And then we quickly shifted to partner with Oconee County schools to provide around 400 bags of shelf-stable breakfast and lunch items for a few days while they were able to secure the USDA waiver to feed more students. During this time, we delivered family boxes of food, first to 84 families and then an increase to 95 families during the pandemic. So we shifted from 147 students to about 400 Oconee County citizens every week through the end of the school year. The Oconee County Schools social workers helped with packing and the delivery routes, while Oconee County Schools staff delivered the food to families' homes. Boxes included meat, milk, fresh fruits and vegetables, and other staples for the families. Our mentor program had over 110 mentors matched with students during the school year. However, as the program is school-based, we had to press pause during the COVID-19 crisis. Mentors and students now have resumed writing letters to each other during the summer, with OARC serving as the liaison. Our Summer Food for Kids program began on May 27th, and we are currently delivering food to 38 families, which is around 80 children, and that increased from 33 last summer. We have had 2 families rotate off the program as their financial situations has improved, and we've added 2 new families since that happened. This box contains meat, eggs, bread, milk, fresh fruits and vegetables, and other staples as well. We've been able to benefit from the Georgia Farmers to Families receiving produce as well as meat, milk, and cheese. As we expand, we want our long-term plans to include the opportunity for every student who receives a bag of food in the school year to be able to receive a family box if they need that. In the summertime, this will take a little more time, planning, and funding. We will continue to partner with Oconee County Schools now that they have announced their plans for reopening on August the 5th to see if we need to modify or enhance our programs to serve the students who need to receive food or meet with a mentor. Thank you so much for your support. Do you have any questions about the contract or OARC for me?
I do. Do you think they're going to allow mentors back in the schools when they open?
That is a question I hope that we'll have answered by our board meeting next Tuesday. So that's on our agenda for sure. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This will be all right for consent agenda on
Yes.
approval? Very good. Any public comment on this item? Thank you. All right, next item is discuss the Public Works FY 2021 County Road Resurfacing bid. Jody?
Hi, good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. This item of business is the FY 2020 resurfacing. It'll carry into FY 21 with C.W. Matthews. This came to the board in October 1st, 2019. We had an estimated total at that time of $2,022,061, and those were based on estimated patching quantities, estimated resurfacing quantities. We have fine-tuned that a little bit, and so the actual bid from C.W. Matthews is a little bit higher. It's $2,094,137, and that is based on measured quantities for our patching. We've actually went out and marked the areas and measured them, so it is an actual bid based on the quantities anticipated to be placed. And the contract does pay for quantities placed, so if we come under, that dollar would be under. But then on the financial impact, it is the SPLOST at $1,338,667.08. The LMIG contribution from Georgia DOT is $683,393.92. And then there is one clarification or one correction. I had thought that CW Matthews may get in time to do some of the work in the FY20 budget, and that would be the $72,076. But they're anticipating being in later in July, mid to late July. So that money won't come out of the FY20 budget. It would come out of the FY21 budget.
Very good. Any questions on that? All right, thank you. Be all right for consent agenda?
Yes.
All right. Any public comment on this item? No. All right, thank you. Next item is discuss the senior center aging services contract. Mary?
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. The first item is the Families First Coronavirus Act, Response Act, which was signed into law on March 18th of this year. As such, this federal funding was made available to further support the nutrition programs for the senior centers and community centers that provide home-delivered meals, activities, and outreach to our local seniors. The senior center has been closed since March, and we're looking to continue being closed for a while we continue to serve our seniors at home through home-delivered meals, activities virtually, and also some on the outside type activities. But this funding award is in the amount of $21,440.99. Any funds not spent in the FY20 will roll over to FY21 and will continue to support us until September 30th, 2021.
We'll go ahead and cover the transportation agreement as well.
Yes, sir. That is our standard coordinated transportation contract that we have every year through the Department of Human Services. Their funding support will be $8 per ride as per usual. They have not given us an amount of the contract per se, just stating that they will support us for $8 per one-way trip.
Thank you. Any questions on either of those two?
No.
Be all right for consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any public comment on these two? Any? Thank you. Next item is discuss the FY21 Public Defender Indigent Services Contract. Wes?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Evening, Board. Come before you tonight to request consideration for an agreement for the Indigent Defense Services between the Circuit Public Defender Office of the Western Judicial Circuit and Oconee County. The purpose for this contract or agreement is for the provision of criminal defense for indigent persons accused of violating a county government ordinance or state law. This would begin on July 1st and work for the upcoming fiscal year FY21. So if there are any questions I could answer at this time, I'd be glad to. This is a joint agreement between Athens, Clarke County, Oconee County, and the Western Judicial Circuit.
That's the number budget for the FY21.
That's
budget.
correct. It's part of that budget, and that's what we'll be discussing later, but that number has not changed.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. All right, for consent agenda?
Yep.
Yes. Very good. Any public comment on this item? Next item is discuss a contract modification for Oconee Veterans Park roof renovation project. Alex?
Good evening, Commissioners. The Oconee Veterans Park Community Center has had issues with water infiltration. In an effort to curb water infiltration, an RFP went out in fall 2019, following the recommendations of a Raymond Engineering study completed in the fall of 2018. Bone Dry Roofing was chosen as the vendor for this project with City Glass as a subcontractor. The project originally included 3 parts. The first part was fixing known structural issues on the roof itself that led to leaks. Second part was repairing issues with the windows that led to water infiltration. And the third part was sealing the split face block using a silicone-based water sealant. Due to budget constraints from the initial proposal, we decided to start with the roof and the window work and complete the sealant work at a later date on the split face block. Work on the roof and the windows began in winter of 2019 and was completed in the spring of 2020. Over the course of the spring, new leaks emerged, requiring Bone Dry to come out again multiple times to address these new leaks. But now that the roof and the window work is complete, staff is requesting to execute a contract modification to complete the remaining piece of the project, sealing the split face block. The project is a SPOS 15 project and had an original budget of $140,000. The roof and window work together cost $94,670. And this contract modification will add an additional $53,620 for a grand total of $148,290. Sorry. Staff recommends proceeding with the contract modification to complete the remaining OVP water infiltration prevention work. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions? Good. Be all right for consent agenda?
Yes.
Thank you, Alex. Any public comment? Thank you. Next item is discuss a request for proposal for the county auditor. That'd be Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. As part of best practice, it's a good idea periodically to put your auditing services out for bid to test the market and see what opportunities exist. In this case, our current contract expired with Treadwell and Tamplin, who did an outstanding job for us. But we did it a little differently. We have an audit committee as opposed to running directly through the finance department. So it's comprised of the chairman, the vice chair, and myself. And so this is a case of watching the watchman in this case. So we put it out to bid. We had 3 firms, Rushton, Treadwell, Tamplin, who's the incumbent, and Malden Jenkins, all 3 outstanding firms, long history of successful audits. After review, the audit committee has selected Rushton to be the auditor for Oconee County. The cost for the first year would be $54,970. The aggregate over the 5-year period would be $274,850. We think they're a really good fit for Oconee County, both in terms of making sure that our audit we have a legal compliant department, but also from a business practice perspective, taking a look at how we do things and how we can potentially do them more efficiently within the realm of finance and the audit itself. So we're putting forward a recommendation for Rushton to be the county auditor.
Very good. Any questions on that? All right, be all right for consent agenda and approve the contract.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any public comment? Thank you. Next item is discuss acceptance of easements and right-of-ways, and we got Daniel down for that one.
This is just the routine acceptance of right-of-ways that's required so that we actually have them in our inventory of things we own. Everything's standard. The planning department has looked at them, public works departments, everything's ready to go.
Very good. Any questions?
No.
All right, consent agenda, be fine. Any public comment on these items? All right, thank you. The next item is to consider the adoption of the FY 2021 budget, and we'll ask Wes to come up for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I come before you tonight to request action on the FY21 budget. It's been a long process, 5-month process. We started back on January 28th, and we presented the budget submittal plan with our plan of action and milestones. Elected officials and department heads prepared budget requests and submitted them on February 18th. We consolidated all the reports mid-March and reported to the administrative review. May 5th, I delivered that proposed budget to the Board of Commissioners. And then we had a May 19th public hearing virtually. Then we had June 2nd, second public hearing virtually. And then June 16th, when we were allowed to do so, we had an in-person public hearing. And so tonight is our second in-person public hearing for FY21. I'm not going to go over the whole PowerPoint again in the sake of time, but I will just go over the budget. The general fund budget is $31,247,892. Total proposed budget to include enterprise fund, SPOST, and the general fund is $53,315,602. That is no change from the last time I reported to you on June 16th and gave the pitch. It's been a challenging process through the pandemic and the reduction in sales tax. The numbers that we are seeing are about what we projected, maybe a little better, but we're positioned for a year of adversity. It's a good budget. I feel good about the budget moving ahead, confident Oconee County is secure, and sales tax will be reduced for the near future. Nobody knows when exactly that will bounce back, but our budget has projected pretty accurately what we're seeing. Our latest sales tax return for May was down 6%, and the state was down 10% as a whole. So we're in a little better shape overall, and I think that it remains to be seen how quickly we will rebound from this and life gets back to normal. So we proceed cautiously and conservatively. We're going to push back some of the major purchases to mid-year, and I would request the department head and elected officials' cooperation with that, and we'll work through any need that we have moving through this FY21. With that said, if there's any questions I can answer this time, I'd be glad to do so.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
Do we have any public comment on this? Very good. All right, since the fiscal year ends at midnight tonight, we are going to ask for a motion to fund tomorrow. So if we can have a motion to approve the budget, that'd be great.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget as submitted.
I second.
A motion second, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Horton, you have to agree to do the unmuting. I think you might be having some technical difficulties.
Okay, well, thank you.
Oh, I think you figured it out. You are able to talk now, Commissioner Horton.
Go ahead, Chuck.
I just wanted to be on the record to support that motion.
Very good. All right, looks like it passed unanimously. Thank you very much. It was a real good process. Again, thank the board for supporting going to a new software. Over the last couple of years, that made a huge difference, especially having to make adjustments after getting started pretty far down the road. So it's been really good. All right, our next item will be to discuss and consider authorization to amend and revise. Did we vote, Kathy? We did vote, didn't we? Okay.
We said aye.
Yep. Okay. All right, Wes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've come before you tonight for the third request, which is amend and revise authority. This is a common practice, and I'm requesting the ability to revise and amend as necessary fiscal year 20 as we close it out later tonight. We'll keep the books open approximately 45 days. This is called the accrual period. And what we do during that time is that allows for receipts, expenditures to be processed in the proper fiscal year. So it's a crossover between FY20 and FY21 during that accrual period. The amend and revise authority is an administrative function for the finance director, and it allows for these expenditures and revenues to be balanced in preparation for our state audit. And by state law, we have to have a completely balanced budget. So I would appreciate your consideration of allowing me amend and revise authority.
Very good. Any questions on
No
that?
questions.
All right. Any public comment?
No raised hand.
I think we'll entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion, we approve authorization to amend and revise the FY 2020 budget.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
You're unmuted.
Mr. Chairman, I also support that motion.
Very good. Thank you. Our next item is to discuss and consider the COVID-19 equity adjustment. As you know, with COVID-19 hit, we shut down government operations, not allowing employees. There's a lot of workstations were shut down. We did rotations, allowing people to come on some days and not other days. We did have a group of people that had to report to work every single day during that. So we did a survey of who those employees were. We came up with 74 employees that throughout COVID-19 showed up and worked every day. And so to kind of adjust that for the time off that other people got, we're recommending a $1,500 one-time equity adjustment for those 74 employees, which will be a gross pay of $111,000 plus taxes and benefits that go with that. So any discussion or questions on that?
I just want to thank all of them for doing that. I know that put themselves and their families at risk during this time, but certainly do thank all the employees that made that effort.
I agree.
Thank you. All right. Any public comments on this item before we move forward?
No raised hand.
Thank you. We'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the COVID-19 equity adjustment.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Commissioner Horton, you are unmuted.
Mr. Chairman, I also support that. And I would also like to say thanks to those many employees that did what they did, and certainly appreciate all their efforts.
Very good. Thank you. Next item is discuss amendments to the Board of Elections and Registration, intergovernmental agreements with the municipalities. Fran?
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. I wanted to bring an amendment up for approval, hopefully. As you know, we conduct the 3 cities elections for the city of Watkinsville, for North High Shoals, and for the town of Bishop. And currently, we do everything except for publish their ads for qualifying, and we do not hold the qualifying for the cities. I would like to amend the IGAs to include that going forward, so that we will encompass every bit of the elections, and we have, all of it under one roof. So that's the amendment for all 3 cities. All 3 have signed the agreements for me already. So I would like to recommend that y'all approve that as well.
Very good. Any questions?
Questions?
Oh, very good. All right, for consent agenda?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any public comment on this item? The next item is discussion on the intergovernmental agreement for SPLOST 2021. Justin?
Thank you. We've discussed the IGA for SPLOST 21 several times. There's been a few final revisions to it, which mostly were dealing with concerns that the city of Watkinsville had regarding potential general obligation bonds that would be part of the county for future. The items which may or may not ultimately be bonded out would be administrative library facility and then the broadband project. The way the IGA is written now just gives some discretionary ability to it, but doesn't bind us one way or the other. So it just gives some flexibility as far as future financing options. So currently, City of Watkinsville, North High Shoals have submitted their projects for SPLOST 21. The other 2 should follow suit shortly. So on the next agenda, we'll be asking for this board to approve the IGA between, and you will see the insertion of all the projects, both the county and all the municipalities in it. And then on the back end at the Board of Commissioners agenda setting meeting in July, we will issue the call for the referendum actually, and that'll be voted on that night, but it'll be the same essential language. You're just authorizing the going forward with the election. That's just an update at this point.
Very good. Any questions on the process?
No.
Thank you. Next item is discuss alcohol license modification for CVS Pharmacy number 4719.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. This is a modification of a license for CVS Pharmacy here in Watkinsville. Their registered agent has changed to Melissa Waynick, and her name is spelled correctly, Mellisa. It's a little bit different spelling. But the modification fee is $500. She has completing her REST training, so she's ready to go. They have paid the fee, and we just need to get it approved for them.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions on that? No. That's be all right for consent agenda?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Very good. Any public comment on this item? Thank you very much. We do not have need for an executive session. So with that,
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
we are adjourned. Thank you very much.